Napoleon Bonaparte might be regarded as history's most accomplished and gifted general. From 1793 to 1815, his military career encompassed around 60 major battles, of which he lost only 7. Most of these defeats occurred after 1809, with most of them happening in the final 3 years of his career. This raises the question, did Napoleon's battlefield prowess diminish over time? The French emperor didn't invent entirely new battle tactics. Rather, he refined and perfected existing strategies from military history, adapting them effectively for 18th and 19th century warfare. The Battle of Austerlitz serves as a prime example of a classic Napoleonic victory. In 1705, Napoleon organized his army into separate corps that operated like individual armies, each with infantry, cavalry, and artillery. This structure allowed his forces to move swiftly, outmaneuvering the Austrian army and isolating and destroying it before the Russian reinforcements arrived. He then lured the Tsar into a decisive battle, misleading him about the size of the French army. As a result, the Russian and Austrian forces attacked only a small fraction of Napoleon's troops, while the main French force, lying in wait, ultimately struck at the Allied position on the Pratzen Heights. In short, Napoleon's strategy relied on rapid movement, outmaneuvering the enemy and striking fast when gaining the momentum of numerical advantage. Napoleon's rapid and relentless warfare style caught the aristocratic elites of Europe by surprise. Their military traditions emphasized slow, methodical action and even adhered to gentlemanly rules, such as attacking only at certain times of day. Yet years of defeats at Napoleon's hands forced the great powers, Austria, Prussia, and Russia, to revamp their military systems. They began learning from Napoleon and adopting his strategies. Meanwhile, decades of continuous warfare strained France, leading it to rely increasingly on young conscripts to fill the ranks. While the early battles of Napoleon's reign resulted in relatively few French casualties, later conflicts grew fiercer, involving more soldiers, and the casualties mounted. By the time of the Sixth Coalition, the Grande Armée had lost much of its invincibility and elite status it once held. By 1812, during the Russian campaign, Napoleon was in his early 40s, but years of constant campaigning had worn on his health and endurance. He suffered from chronic stomach pain and likely experienced lapses in mental acuity due to exhaustion and illness. He began to delegate more, which sometimes resulted in less effective decisions on the battlefield, as his marshals and generals couldn't always replicate his unique style and insight. Even so, Napoleon continued to perform at an exceptional level when the situation demanded it. We see this in his darkest moments, such as during the grueling retreat from Russia and in his brilliant 1814 campaign to defend France, where he personally commanded around 70,000 French soldiers and inflicted significant damage on 370,000 coalition forces. In 1813, the coalition even devised a strategy to avoid engaging Napoleon directly, instead targeting his subordinates. The Duke of Wellington, who defeated Napoleon at Waterloo, famously described him as the greatest general of all time. Praise like this from one's opponent speaks volumes. Napoleon set extraordinarily high standards for himself in his early years as emperor. However, it would be unfair to conclude that his abilities faded over time. While Napoleon at Waterloo may not have matched the Napoleon of Austerlitz, his instincts and abilities as a general remained formidable even as his health declined. Furthermore, some of his decisions off the battlefield ultimately made his work on it increasingly difficult as the years went by.